Hi everyone, and welcome to Dragon's Duel's first ever actual play episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I know we've done one-shots, but this is like a proper real one. Like a proper beginning of a campaign. So, with that, the intro, the sort of first bit of this is all very cinematic, as in we're going to be joining in the midst of the battle. So, if you've seen our backstories and our story recap episodes, you will know that this is leading on from our actual plays and our one-shots that we did at the end of our Season 1 and Season 2, where we've got this evil wizard Keraptis, and the four characters that we're going to see playing in a minute are going to be in that final epic battle with Keraptis, the prime Keraptis that is, because he's got loads of clones, he's a wizard, you know, that's what wizards do. So they're in this final battle. They've been searching for him for years. They're now hours into the fight. We're going to join them in the last round of combat, as their hit points are low, their spell slots are low, his spell slots are low, he's run out of counter spells, he's running out of legendary resistances. They're all at the end of their tether. And as we know, Hummel has got one trick up his sleeve to play. And will that come into play? Probably. Yes, of course it will. But before that, I want to then say who the players are, introduce everyone, and also say a big thank you to a lot of people. There are a lot of people to thank who have been a part of particular part of the show, the multiversal split, which I'm sure isn't like cat's out of the bag. You know that's happening. That's happening halfway through, where we've had loads of people helping out create additional voices and video for that. So I need to thank them as well. So first up, the players you're going to see. Well, we're going to have playing this week in our Shattered Realm universe. We've got, as we will continuing for the first three of these players. So we've got Chloe, aka @Chloe_ with the flow, playing Carrie, Carrot Kisses, our centaur artificer wizard. We've then got Chris, aka @Burrow_Brick_Road, playing the fantastic Frankie Flight, our Verdant roguish fighter. We've then got Will, aka @RWD_pod, so that's the Rendezvous with Destiny pod, where Will is from, as well, playing Guillermo de la Cruz, or also known as Gigi, our Githzerai druidic wizard. And then last but not least, we have a guest player playing Hummel. So usually it will be Luke, aka @Duderuni, playing Hummel, our bard, our full bard, our College of Valor bard. This week we've got the amazing guest DM after the multiversal split, the DM Dick Dynamite from the Backwater Bastards. Way exciting, yes. And then, so that's who we're going to start. I'll be DMing at the beginning, but there's no overlay. It's all very, as I said, it's all trying to be a bit cinematic at the beginning. We're just trying something here, okay? Yeah, we're trying to be arty. So after the multiverse split, I will be playing Hummel because, you know what, let's be meta about it. It's named after me, for crying out loud, so let's just, Hummel is meta. And then Luke will be back next week in episode 2 to take on the role, and that's a lot of fun. That episode 2 is good fun. So, but this one first. So when we hit this multiverse split, I need to thank all the fantastic and wonderful people who have donated their time. I mean, it's ridiculously humbling. I tried to record this a minute ago, and there were tears forming in my eyes by how emotional I got about how, I'm going to do it again, how amazing it is that these people out there in the community wanted to give us their time and help us out with this. So I can't thank them enough, and I'm going to try and name everyone, and apologies if I do forget someone, but I hopefully won't. I've got them written down. So, obviously you'll see our Darkest Timeline crew in that multiverse split. So we've got Chelsea, aka @ChelseHole on Twitter, who plays Carrie in our Darkest Timeline. We've then got Nekola, aka @Nekola the Druid, who plays Frankie in the Darkest Timeline. We've got Rhinotech, who plays, Ryan, the editor, Ryan, @Rhinotech, playing Guillermo in the Darkest Timeline. And then we've got Mosey, aka @MoseyDM, playing Hummel, who plays Hummel, though, in our Darkest Timeline. That will be DM'd, obviously, by the amazing Kyle from the Play Nerd Allies, which is @AlliesNerd on the internet, so you should check out everything they do. Then we've also got This is Bardcore, Stuart, thank you, from the Dyson Desire show, doing us another Hummel. We've got Steve, aka @DespairingDM, who's my DM from my home game Curse of Strahd, so thank you, Steve, for being a part of that, doing some Guillermo. We've also got Robbie and Caitlin from the Dungeon Initiative podcast. We've got David Tilstra from the From Afar podcast. We've got Taylor from the Backwater Bastards. We've got Nolan Lacey and David Stankhorn, who are from Nekala's home game, as well as the whole cast of the A Deck of Many Aces, giving us a voice in the background as well. So, wow, thank you. Thank you. Like, seriously, thank you to all of you. If you're watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's humbling, honouring, emotional. It's been very emotional. So I've been up very late trying to finalise all this stuff, so I'm a bit emotional. So thank you. First up, before we get into the middle of this battle, we're gonna play our new intro music. Be kind to me. I do some singing. So does Chloe. Thank you so much, Chloe, for doing the harmonies. We're going to keep working on it, but I wanted to share it with you. I've also found some just stock footage to put in amongst it, which looked kind of cool, but it doesn't, I don't know if it really relates, but I wanted to put something cool over the top of it for now, but we're going to work on it, so, but I wanted to share with you our tune, because I'm pretty happy with it. I like it. I think it's fun, and it gives a bit of a sense of what we're doing. Anyway, so thank you again to Chloe for helping out on that, and adding some instrumentation additional to it as well. I've got Kyle's doing some harmonies as well, which we'll have next week. I'm hoping that'll be ready for next week. So anyway, enjoy our new intro song. You will also hear our old intro song after the multiversal split. You'll be in the middle of the battle. I hope you enjoy the show. Anyway, that's 6 minutes of time that's probably bored the crap off of you. Let's get into the middle of let's get on with it. Okay, take care. Love you. Bye.
Dragons flying in the sky, raining terror down on me, raining terror down on you. Evil wizards on the rise, raining terror down on me, raining terror down on you. Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fight? Yemo's full of rage, now freed from his cage. A hero and a sage, he's the druid for our age. Then there's Hummel, a bard full of wanderlust. He's always on the run, looking for that next rush. And Frankie, you should never cry, for at any cost she's never lost. That's why she's the boss. Then there's carrot kisses, she artifices and never misses with her wishes. That's right, Hummel. So Keraptis, be reminded that they're coming out for you. Yeah, they're coming out for you. So Keraptis, be reminded that they're coming out for you. Yeah, they're coming out for you. Keraptis, be reminded. Keraptis, be reminded that they're coming out for you.
Right, it's your turn, Carrie. So Keraptis is looking pretty weakened right now. We're on the top of the mountain. You're pretty much, the rain is heavily falling upon all of you at the moment. You're starting to feel a bit worn out by the encounter. This has been going on for what feels like hours. If this was actual combat, in D&D combat, it'd be an hour of us talking, but it's been about, like, maybe 30 minutes of actual combat in real time. So you are feeling pretty tired, and this is out of character a bit. I'm just giving you this a bit of a thing, and yeah. So that is, and I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah. So you probably all at about 20 to 30% your hit points. Maybe some of you are closer to death.
this is like you're coming to a point where you're starting to see all your spell slots are running out. You've not got much left, so that's where you are. That's your cues, I guess. Okay. All right. Okie doke. Let's go. Right, Carrie. What is your next move? How are you going to try, and what's your last thing to try against Keraptis right now?
Like, how far away is he?
He is
currently
only about 30 feet. He's hovering in front of you still. He's about 10 feet off the ground. He's holding himself in a position that is like looking like he's about to prepare something, but he's also kind of sort of awaiting your moves now. He's just done his last move that he did was a sort of a meteor swarm, which you ducked out the way of, evaded by Frankie, but Guillermo got hit pretty badly, so Guillermo's looking a bit hurt, and Hummel seems a bit worried that they're running out of healing spells, so it's down to you.
Well, I guess I will use my 7th level slot to cast Finger of Death.
Okay.
On
okay.
Yikes.
He's going to use the last of his legendary resistances. He's only got one left. So.
Well, he still takes half damage.
Okay.
Which I'm actually going to roll online because it's 7d8.
How many d8s? 7d8.
I don't have that many.
So when you cast the Finger of Death, how do you do that? How do you?
I think
how does Carrie?
She will sort of look around, and see like Guillermo being like not looking so great, and it's like, right, this is the gotta do big thing here, and she just kind of looks over at Keraptis with like, it's truth to say murder in her eyes, and she's just gonna point at him. And why am I reaching for the dice when I said I was going to roll online? Hang on. 7. There we go.
Point and roll at once.
Oh god, no, I've
exactly,
done 8.
do both.
How do I go down? There we go. Roll! That was a lot. 31, so he takes 15 damage, or is it 16?
And it's necrotic damage,
oh,
isn't it?
Plus 30.
Yeah, plus 30. Yeah, I thought there was something to add there.
So that's 61, so he takes 30 damage.
30 damage, and that's necrotic damage.
Yes, necrotic.
Okay, fine. So Keraptis,
it's negative energy coursing through Keraptis.
So do you is it from like point? They literally point a finger at them.
Yeah, I don't think there's not like anything that's like visual that goes there. She just points at him, and he's suddenly like
dead,
in searing pain.
Okay. So Keraptis sort of sees this coming, and he's, as I said, he was preparing himself because he's noticing that this is where the battle's going. He's looking weak, you're looking weak. He knows that it's now as much defense as attack. So that as the moment that comes in, he uses like part of his shifting and merging power that he can do. Sort of phases a little bit. He sort of phases out slightly, but still takes some of the damage, which I think if you aim, it comes to like this part of his chest there and starts burning like a searing hole on like a wound that was already sort of from like one of Frankie's knives that went like cut with a sort of like an arcane blade. I think you might use green flame blade or something like that to them, and that sort of opened that wound further. He sort of coughs a bit of splutters up, but says, "Is that all that you have, dear pony?"
Beyond words, angry.
Yeah. Well, and then who's next? And I think that means it's Frankie's turn next. So, my goblinoid friend.
Well, it's because
may have hit me with blades, but.
Well, so while Carrie's doing this and distracting, Frankie's been creeping around the side behind just some detritus and some sort of stonework, just so she can get a good vantage point and hopefully get a sneak attack off.
Okay, so I'd need you to do a roll for stealth.
Roll for stealth. Yep. Okay, what's my?
I will remind you he has true sight.
Okay.
And dragon sight. So.
Okay. That's not bad. That's
Perception.
a 17 on the die plus 14. So that's 27. So that's 31.
31. With that, Keraptis, he turns, knowing the sort of order of your maneuvers now. He sort of read the tone of your. He knows that it carries sort of. You've learned to, in your battle, you've been battling with each other for about a year, and you've got into a rhythm of who goes when. And Frankie, it may not always be up to Kerry, but you know that after a magical attack hits him, he's usually preparing himself for some sort of physical attack from you. But he's searching, and his eyes, and you notice as his eyes move, it phases, like another eye sort of looks the other way. You know, it feels like you're seeing two of his heads moving like this as he's searching, as if like my camera was really chonky, for example. Like, if I do it quick enough, it'll probably do it. But it does that. But he's confused and he goes, I know you're somewhere. I know you're somewhere. And he's looking, but take your attack.
Yep.
He's like searching for you, waiting for this sort of.
Okay, so that's plus 9. It's a natty 20.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes. Come on.
Frank goes, you son of a kraken spit. And falls that's 1d6 plus.
Is this with the dagger?
No, this is a short bow.
Short bow, even better.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
So that's 1d6 plus. This is where I've got to. What was the thing again for sneak attack? Sneak attack, 8d6.
8d6, yeah. It's not many.
Okay, yeah.
Not many at all.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Just a few.
So that's 9d6 in total. And that's 36 points of damage.
36 points of damage. He has no ability to evade this anymore. You notice that nothing sort of he's searching for you, as I said, and doesn't see it coming. And it where would you like be aiming for? What are you aiming for on his body? Where would you
I'm going centre mass.
Center mass.
Yeah, centre
Okay,
mass,
fine. So there's already that wound there, and as he's searching, it doesn't quite hit the wound. I think if it was more than 30, it probably would have gone for that wound, but I think you've kind of hit and lodged in like one of the other ribs. It's gone between one of the ribs. Maybe punctured lung. You hear like a sort of come out as he sort of goes, and he goes, very good, my verdant friend. There's more to come, don't you fear. And he's going to use one of his legendary actions against you for that, because you've come out of cover.
Yeah.
And he's going to cast disintegrate on you.
Actually, I thought it was 40 points of damage. I forgot I got on that 20, didn't I?
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Oh, you did. Okay.
he's dead. Game over.
Okay, he's not dead.
That
but
changes
let's-
everything.
You
It changes
solved
everything. So you
the
definitely
shattered
punched
puzzle.
Okay. So he's going to cast disintegrate on you, which is I need you to make a dexterity save.
I have uncanny dodge.
You do.
Uncanny
you've
This is
dodge.
already-
definitely the time to use it.
No, evasion.
It's
Evasion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Use
evasion. Yes, I've used
You
evasion.
can use uncanny dodge if you
Yes.
so wish.
No, I'll use evasion.
But you can also make a save to mean you don't get any. take
Okay,
any
so it's a
damage.
dex, is it?
Dex save, yeah.
Dex, that is 24.
Okay, that is just enough for his first save. He's got very high intelligence,
Oh.
but you so he sort of points to you, and just like you see this like gnarled and like draconic hand. His hand sort of becomes scaled as it happens, and these scales like grow up what was a sort of humanoid but very elongated and like semi undead looking, very skeletal hand becomes very draconic and like twists into 3 claws, and he points out towards you, and out from it this like shadow emerges, and it sort of flows towards you and tries to encapsulate you, but you sort of like flit out of the way as it sort of pushes beyond. It lands on the rocks. You're like amongst some rocks on this mountaintop, and it just turns one of these rocks and it just crumbles into nothing. And then a chasm below, and you're sort of like teetering on an edge of a chasm now behind you. So that hidden spot is gone. You cannot hide.
Right, well, it's because Frankie, she kind of backflips out the way, and she does do a Black Widow kind of superhero landing.
Brilliant.
But then it gets a bit teetering because, let's say, it's just a disintegrating rock next to her. So yeah,
I love it. That's great. Okay, cool. So that's is that all your turn?
That's
is that everything
yeah.
Okay, fine. Guillermo, you or Gigi,
GG, yeah.
as you're more affectionately known,
Right.
You've just been hit pretty badly with this meteor swarm.
Mhm.
It's sort of the way it works for them. It's like for Keraptis comes down. It's like miniature dragons that sort of float from the sky as
yeah.
they come down, and they disappear the minute. So there's no like meteors left beyond. It's like all arcane, really. So you're not like surrounded by rubble, but you were prone to start this round.
Okay. So just sort of looking around at how like the state of the party. You said everyone's looking pretty beat up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Like pretty. As I said, everyone's at like 30% of their hit points, 20% of their hit points. You know, we're looking in the double digits, no triple digits, and it's all 20s,
Okay.
30s, and stuff like that.
sort of-
You took a nasty hit, so you're at that lower end of that scale, about 20 odd hit points.
Okay. He sort of looks around at the others and kind of just like tries to brush off some of like the smouldering kind of cloak from this meteor strike, and just stands up and faces Keraptis, like pushes himself to his feet and faces Keraptis and just goes, "You shall not hurt another." And then I want to cast Feeble Mind on him.
What was that? You're
Feeb-
gonna cast.
Feeble Mind.
Okay, feeble mind.
Yeah.
What does that require me to do?
So first of all, it's just 4d6 psychic damage.
Mhm.
So I'll just roll that now.
Yeah.
So that would be 18 psychic damage.
Okay. Cool.
And then you need to make an intelligence save, please.
Intelligence save. Okay, I will make that online now.
Yep.
Roll d20. He rolls 15. 31?
Yeah, okay. No, that
Save?
passes. Yeah, that saves. That
No,
saves.
that's alright. 29. 29. I got it wrong.
Still
Oh,
saves.
yeah, only 20.
Only
Okay,
29, yeah. No, that,
Yeah, okay.
no, that's still saves. And there's sort of this like shadow kind of looming behind Gigi as he was sort of casting this, and it just like shrinks away from behind him, and kind of like these scrags of
What you
shadow just like
notice-
tear.
But what you've proven by that is he has no way to resist that. You can tell that what he does is he's racked with the pain from his brain, so like that, but he goes and he sort of like forces himself, but it's not the same. It's not like when he uses legendary resistance, it's like a phase effect. You can tell he shifts like planes, but this was just pure mental will. And so I think it looks like that's it. He's got nothing else to give on that. So is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it is. Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't have any spell slots left. So.
All right, so it lands finally then on Hummel. Hummel.
Has he stopped resisting magic? Kind of looks like he's stopped resisting magic. I'm gonna pull out the wish scroll then.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, everyone's used their biggest guns, right? There's
Right, yeah.
This
There's
is
no
it.
other big
Yeah.
guns left to use.
I've got no
but this.
magic left.
There are no other big guns. Go for it. Okay,
Alright, so just
what
sort
do
of,
you
know,
wish?
standing at a perfectly reasonable distance, you don't really need to get in there with a wish, do you?
You could
Scroll.
muck off anywhere you like now, to be honest. And
It's
just
just like, bye.
stow all the instruments, unravel the scroll, just start
Yeah.
reading that thing, reciting that thing, like moving left and right, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to get shot by anything in the way, I just got to finish reading this
Mhm.
and make the wish. And
What is
it's
your
just going to
wish?
be a real simple wish.
Mhm.
I wish Keraptis had never been born.
Right. Right. Okay. So
Okay.
Keraptis sees you pulling out this scroll and knows, kind of intuits what you're reading, and he starts to look very nervous, and he's sort of scrambling. You see that imagine that what happened is you started reading that scroll whilst all these other moves were happening. You started doing this, and he's been sort of keeping one eye on it and noticed, and that's what's been distracting him throughout this last bit. And he's then sort of, as that feeble mind hits and he sort of resists from it, he sort of comes to a realization and goes, I wish to rule the universe. And he sort of speaks this out literally the same time that your So the moment you say that words, he sort of, as you say I wish, it's like in tandem, he goes, I wish to rule the universe. At that moment, because there are two wish spells that sort of create a dichotomy, the world, you see this split in the phasing that happens to Keraptis. He starts to, sort of those phases start to split into two. And so then you start seeing double vision. You worried that you've all been hit too heavy on the head at first. And then suddenly you start to see that the whole of you feel yourself. You feel a part of yourself like you don't feel right. You feel like you've got a cough, and you're coughing like deep inside parts of your body. Like your whole body is coughing. And as you do, you feel like and like something as like a soul has escaped from you. And it's a very strange feeling, and you feel this starting to happen quite significantly, and yeah, it's like you feel very weaker than just the pain and the suffering, like the sort of agony of aches and bones. This is more internal, like an aching, like a sort of weakness, and you sort of all fall a bit for a second, and then you return, but notice that you're now seeing different images, slightly different phases in both eyes than you are at the moment, and then that's where you'd go to your other bit.
I'm sure I took a lateral flow test before this and it came up negative.
That's just my vision with my contact lenses.
Yeah.
So it starts. You start to feel your body, and you start to then see like multiple variations, and like Hummel starts to look different, and Gigi looks slightly different, and everyone starts to just become slightly. One's got a beard, one's not got a beard. One's from New Zealand, one's definitely not from New Zealand. Like, you know, there's like different, you know, like visuals of them. Sometimes you're not even sure if it is the same person at all. It could just be a completely other person. But there's 4 of you. Sometimes there's 5 of you. You're not certain of why you're seeing these overlapping images, and they're like opacity layers in Photoshop. So that is where you are. This is what's happening.
Freaky.
Keraptis seems completely confused by this and is starting to back away from the rest of you, but seemingly happy. He seems to he says, I can see, yes, it might work, it might, and then he disappears immediately from you. From one a lot of his variations disappear, some of them there, so like the layer of opacity dissipates from him, so like let's say there's only like 2 or 3 of his variants left, rather than quite a few that seem to be there before. Like whilst with everyone else there still seems a lot. So he seems to know something you don't.
What's happening? Oh my god, this is strange, this is weird.
No, this is not okay.
What did you do, Hummel?
I don't know, I tried to
Wish him away.
and then,
Well, it felt weird. It felt like it worked.
but then it didn't work, and then it worked, and then it didn't work again.
Okay, but how does that...
Explain all this. I don't know. Why do you think I'd know any better?
Geez, so you're the planer.
Planar expert, Gigi.
I just spin the tales of what you do.
This will be a good one.
You bloody idiots. No.
Fancy magics? Can't you just stick knives and swords into one another? As that usually doesn't lead to splits in reality on a regular basis. Heck, how are we gonna get out of this mess hole then?
I don't know. Maybe if we try and align with our
Other selves, we can somehow
undo this?
What, like recast the spell? Or
Reroll the dice.
Dice? What dice?
I don't know, but I have this funny feeling that in one of these realities there's something to do with dice.
There's these games of chance. I like that a lot.
What? So we somehow play some sort of game of chance, hope we all get the same answer, and this will all resolve itself? Whatever, I've heard worse ideas.
So, anybody got any dice?
I don't have any dice.
I don't have any. I really don't
I
play.
used some for
You know.
a banana shake.
Oh.
Carrie, you saw the other planes. Was there anything else that matched up, like the dice?
Well, there was this one where they played 6 rounds vaguely related to 6 abilities to score points towards a character by playing some improv games and trivia rounds, but that seems like too much work for right now, to be honest.
Who would do that?
Who would do
Who
that?
would do that, honestly?
Sociopath. One who does not hold regard for others' feelings, lacks of empathy or remorse for wrongdoings, and often feel the need to exploit and manipulate others for personal gain. Sociopath.
Frankie, do you have any ideas?
So, what? We need a game of chance that we can all get right somehow?
That's what it feels like.
But the possibilities are endless. Like, how are we going to have that luck?
Well, we gotta at least try.
Fine. I guess then why not all of us think of a spell and say the first one that comes to mind? Hopefully we can all get the same one and then things are back to normal.
Okay.
Yes, so.
Okay, so on the count of 4. 1,
One,
2.
Wait, is it on the 4, or are you going to say go after?
No, no, on the 4. 1, 2.
Right, okay, gotcha.
Are we ready now?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Did it work?
And now, back to Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons.
It's okay, don't worry. I'm coming in, I'm going to solve you out. You start to see these like Grinch-like characters appearing and it start to appear in front of you, and they go, "Look, stop what you're doing, okay? This is not going to work, okay? You're trying too hard here. You're trying too hard. I'm going to sort this out. Don't worry. You just don't do anything." Brian, you go sort over that 256. I'll sort out this 256. And then, Andy, don't you touch anything. Right, okay. I'm trying to do a South African accent, but it keeps going into New Zealand because, Dick, you're here, and it's going to make it very difficult.
You said to roll some of your R's.
I have to roll some of my R's and then to talk a bit more
Keeps
like
you
this.
a little bit more South African.
That's it, yes. Okay, I'll try it. Yes, okay. So, Andy, you don't touch anything because you'll ruin it. Right. Okay, you over here, you come here. Yes. Damn, right. You stay. Don't you worry. Right, yep, okay. Brian, what have you done? You fool! It's okay? It's okay? You're telling me it's okay that they're over there. I think they just turned into ash. You're saying she said it's okay. Alright, I'll trust you, Brian. You know what you're talking about sometimes. Alright, okay. Alright, you start to feel, as this is happening, this weakness dissipating. You were feeling very, like, this inner weakness, sort of like you're feeling much more like yourselves again. Not completely like you were before, but you feel like something's happening. So, half of it is over there, another half over here. Right, okay. Is that okay? She's not gonna be upset. She's not, okay. Alright, you lot come with me. I'm gonna take you somewhere, and we're gonna be fine, alright? And we'll sort all this stuff out. It's all, you've fucked the universe, basically.
What?
Yes, you just ruined it, okay? So we're gonna have to deal with that later.
Sorry, who are you?
Yes, who exactly are you?
Still seems to be working.
Yeah, well, okay, well, you see how, like, there's nothing around you right now? Yeah?
Yeah, but we're still in it.
Yes, but the fact is that the rest of the universe is now trying to figure out itself in the fact that you tried to remove someone's existence, at the same time them assume control over all existence. So
what you're trying to say here is I'm now the center of the universe. I think I can live with that.
Frankie, I like your style. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, but it's more Hummel's fault, and he's not the center of the universe. It's Keraptis is trying to be the center of the universe at the same time as Hummel over there tried to delete him from the universe.
But doesn't that mean I'm also sort of sometimes the center of the universe?
Well, I will grant you that, if that will make you happy.
Well, I
Right.
guess it would make you like the anti-center of the universe. Like, the opposite.
That's
at least they'll
also
know
true.
my name.
That's also true. Isn't the center of the universe the opposite of the center of the universe? The center of the universe?
Well, it depends if you're talking about like matter or like energy stuff.
This maybe is a bigger conversation for another day, but we could do that once
Right,
we get you
yes.
to Sigil. I'm gonna do something a bit weird. It's gonna feel a bit weird. You might have been on the astral plane before. We're just gonna travel through a big tunnel, and we'll get somewhere. Okay?
Okay.
All right. You notice the whole time he's not moving his mouth. This is all in your heads. Just forgot to mention that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, just to clarify.
But he has an accent. Yeah.
Yes, and he has an accent. Yes, and
Just
I
your
chose.
everyday conversation.
Yes, exactly. It is exactly. And with that, he goes, all right, 3, 2. I'm not going to do on 1. It's just going to happen. Don't worry about the timing. It will just happen. You don't need to count in with me. Like I know you were having trouble. I know you were having troubles with it before, but okay, we're going to do this way. Okay, right. So, yeah. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And you just like, as he says, let's go. You just get sucked into this portal, right? And you're just like trying to go. Whoa! Yeah, there you go. And as you do, somehow it shifts a little bit. Like you start phasing a little bit. Those different versions that you saw of different people phasing in and out. And this tunnel is like, it's all colours of the multiverse and beyond. Colours you haven't even seen, ultra spectrums and stuff. And it's sort of floating around. As moments come to, like when you're looking out of a window of a car, it's just a blur. And then your eye follows something for a second, and you like see an image, and then it disappears again. You sort of catch images occasionally, so you occasionally just get these like moments where you just see these infinite tunnels, and this like you hear this like slight echo of a screaming howl, which kind of like racks you a little bit when you sort of like when you focus on it, the sound comes to you and it like disappears, like like that, and it goes past. And another one, you just look and you just see fire, like just pure fire, and just awful creatures. You were just like, oh, I don't want to keep looking at that. Let's just leave that one behind. Then there's just infinite grey. It's like Slough. It's just infinite grey. I'm sorry, Slough. It's only because my hometown, Aylesbury, got voted the worst town in the world, and I feel that it lost.
Aylesbury isn't that bad.
It isn't that bad, exactly. Thank you.
The theatre's really nice.
But Slough.
It's close to the theme park, right? Close to Thorpe Park. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, but
it can't be the worst.
It can't be.
It speaks volumes about a town when the kindest thing you can say about it is how it's near to somewhere more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. And then yeah, it's sort of it seems to just keeps doing this sort of like, you keep catching these moments. You then also get some beautiful areas. After a while, it starts to like come back to like this huge mountain, and then there's a sort of tree with vines that sort of like go out for miles, but it's kind of like quite beautiful. And it all seems good. You see 3 of these like characters with you when suddenly it all starts to go a bit wrong. It starts to shake a bit, and at first you think, oh, this is probably part of it. Like this is a weird tunnel. Shit happens, okay? It vibrates. That's normal. But those images you see start to like crackle a bit and sort of phase, like the colours sort of blend at the edges, and you start noticing the 3 of these like Grinch-looking characters like conversing, but they're conversing with these like images above their head. You can't understand them, but they seem to pop these sort of like, they look like images, like a pictorial language, and they're sort of conversing between the two. And I don't know, you can make an insight if you want to, or you could just, your passive perceptions insight is all pretty high, so I'm going to say off the bat they are looking concerned. Yeah. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a massive fissure just like something just blasts through, and one of those Grinch characters just goes out and just like sucks like into nothingness. Okay.
Are they all right?
Don't worry about. I'll sort of wait, and then goes and then like.
Can you sort of like float to the other side a little bit?
Yeah. So you start trying to move yourselves over to the side. and then suddenly another like fissure comes down, and it sort of punches through. It's like a vine like of black, and it pushes the second of these characters like out, and they just go like that out, and again just off. And then the last one is like get closer, like pulls you like try and says with your mind just think closer to me, think like that. And so
closer.
This isn't going to put us into trouble. Your friends seem to be suffering. We seem okay.
With that, the minute you're about to speak, a third one comes in, pushes all of you through this mass, as it's sort of like you see like like when a Hoover or a sprinkler goes a hose goes off on its own. Yeah? You find like you see your one just like over like off, and then you're sort of like floating, you're just chucked out into this sort of astral sea, and you're like Gravity, when you're sort of spinning when she's spinning, and like what's her name, Sandra Bullock spinning millions of times. You're sort of like done that into space, and you see the other end of this tunnel sort of like floating like a hose in the air, and you see a few other people maybe like later on just kind of like floating into nothingness, and then you start transitioning into over towards, you see like this big sort of like ship meets sort of like bits of like old, it's like all connected, but it's like disparate broken shards of like a building that make up this sort of larger element, and you're sort of floating towards it. Whoa! There we go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got like a sort of ethereal voice of hovering over everyone now. That's great. Feels powerful.
Master. Oh dear.
As finally, you all pop back into some semblance of a universe, of reality, and find yourselves standing in a broken sort of room, a shard of a building, but eventually you realize that it seems like it's supposed to be this way. It's like a floor sort of set out with a corridor ahead of you and an arc of some sort of like almost glass-like dome, and up above you, you just see stars. Stars as far as the eye can see, as though you're up in space, floating in what a more modern audience might refer to as a space station. And all around you are these orbs, like huge, immense orbs, each with like little spikes sort of coming out of them that they sort of seem to set themselves on. Looks like they can set themselves down in any orientation. And you realize that out of them is actually drifting just a series of beholders. And these beholders don't seem to really be looking in your direction. You guys are sort of off behind some just a sort of a big metal box. So you're safe for the meantime, but these beholders are also heading off in one direction. You realize that they are heading off down a corridor towards what looks like a great hall. It's made of sort of just like slabs of gunmetal stuff. It has again a real like dome-like beholdery kind of appearance. But they seem to be perfectly happy just sort of making their way, and as you sort of like peek a little bit further ahead, you can see that looks like they're all being checked by a really large beholder dressed all in black. I mean, I say dressed, they've just got some paraphernalia sort of wrapped around them to infer that they're a bouncer.
What is he doing? Have you ever seen beholders act like this?
So I wouldn't usually say this, but I think we have to follow all of those beholders wherever they're going.
Are you crazy? Follow beholders? Do you have any idea what they will do to us?
Genuinely, no, actually. So.
Well, it's bad.
What on earth have you done to us, Hummel? Everything was going so swimmingly. I had Keraptis in my sights. Why on earth did you have to do that stupid wish?
Well, I thought it would be a good idea.
Right.
You should have at least phrased it better.
Suddenly, appearing before you, one of the Grinches, the Grinch that got shot out of the tunnel through space at the same time as you, just appears, materializes in front of you.
Hello.
Completely.
Frankie draws her bow instinctively.
Wait. Look, that didn't quite go right. We're supposed to take you to Sigil, there's something, you broke the universe. We can't actually just use teleportation magic the right way. So I've just been scouting about, because this is a beholder station. That they're definitely going to have some sort of star gem drive, and I can use that as a focus, and then I can teleport us all to Sigil in a much safer way. Actually, there's a further step along the way, but you don't need to know about that yet. I'll get you to Sigil. We will fix all of this. Now, the thing is, I can blink around and get there on my own, but you're going to have to find your way into the back of that building.
Sorry, did you say star gem drive? What the heck is that?
Oh, it's just like a focus thing. It's different worlds, different galaxies. It all makes sense once you get there.
Okay, I guess we gotta get there then.
All right. Well, they're totally freak if they see me around here. So I'm just going to be kind of hiding above you. So
right.
Don't worry. I'll come if you call. And it sort of phases out of sight up above you. Once more.
Well, he seemed of no use whatsoever. He's just let us here to die.
You can say that again.
Does it look like there's what sort of activities happening at this building that we can see?
So in the time that you've been talking with the Grinch-like fellow, the beholders have actually been making their way inside this hall, and there was only sort of a dozen or so of them arriving out of this great big orb-like ship.
Okay.
And by the time you've sort of finished this conversation, most of them have filed inside, and you can see sort of like just lingering in the hallways, looking a little bit, put out. 4 beholders on the smaller side. You'd probably even call them. What do you call a small beholder? They're like a.
There's the orbi with the orbuses. Those are little non-formed ones. Or there's I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Mini beholder.
Mini beholder.
Mini beholder. Just go with that.
little immature beholders.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sort of skulking in the corridor and like looking wistfully at the building.
Is this quite an open corridor? Is it?
So it's huge. It's immense. It's wide.
So these beholders, they're not going in. They're like staying outside.
They're staying outside.
Okay.
Should we? I'm gonna try and do my best Bowie now. I'm gonna have to get into it. You go wuzz wuzz. How's he? I can't remember how he talks now. How does Bowie talk? I'm David Bowie. Oh yes. Should we go and have a look at these beholders over there? Should we see what they're doing?
Maybe if we can like sneaky like. I'm not great at sneaking, but.
Oh, fine. If you need someone to sneak along, I suppose I will take point this time.
Yes.
This time?
This time.
Yes. Well, if it looks like it might be dangerous, I may put the pony in front. Who knows?
Bigger target to hide behind.
They do have a good point.
So yeah, I'll just try and just arch my back against the corridor and just sort of slink along the side, trying to sort of make my frame even smaller than the 3'7" it is.
Let's just get like a little, just do a quick little dex save roll,
Are we still using the? Which sheet are we using?
Use your normal sheet now.
Use normal sheet now. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's 28.
28. So you basically indetectables. You're sneaking up. I mean, these beholders, they got a lot of eyes, but their eyes aren't all really looking in the right direction. And it's as you're sort of creeping up, you get the impression as well that these beholders, they're not like the ones that you've encountered, back home. They, for starters, like they're kind of dressed. They've got strange things tied around their eye stalks. These ones are all wearing some sort of like sash sort of wrapped around them. They seem to have as well, like some of them like are missing eyes that have been replaced by mechanical variants. Mm-hmm. And these 4 beholders, one of them is sort of kind of rotund and almost sort of like an elongated egg-shaped one. There's another that's very sort of scrawny and has its quite long stalks for some reason, like abnormally long stalks. And there's another that's sort of standing in the center of them. leaning idly against the wall that has a just a single ocular that's like a dark shade, like beholder sunglasses. Like if a beholder was really into Neo from the first Matrix.
Yes. Okay. I move closer to that one than any of them, basically. That's right.
So as we're moving up, are they talking? Can we hear them?
So they are. They're talking amongst themselves.
Can we understand them at all?
And yeah, they seem to be speaking every common variant of the common tongue. Because why not? Space beholders. Why wouldn't they speak the same language as you?
They're beholders. That's what they all do, right? Yeah. I believe that.
But Damien, we can't go in without dates. We'll be the laughing stock of everyone. I just want people to see my new shades. I mean, who even cares about the beholder ball?
Did I just hear that they're doing a party? Because they might need my talents.
You have talents?
Gigi, I may have ruined the universe, but I'm still a freaking awesome bard, okay? Don't you
Not
forget
gonna
it.
matter if you've ruined the universe.
Yeah,
Just
I know,
saying.
but there's always time for a party, right?
Yes, one does not cancel out the other one.
Okay.
However, these beholders here, they don't seem like our usual sort. They don't seem
No.
very threatening. I think I can take them.
I'm sure we all
Are
could,
you
but I
sure?
don't know how much of my ability is still available to me.
I feel quite hurt.
Yes, something doesn't feel. My body doesn't
Yeah.
feel quite right. And at this moment, Frankie's going to turn around and he's going to try and cast Fireball on Hummel. And as he starts to move his hands and her hands, and go on, she's realised it's not actually happening as normally she'd expect it to. And she goes, "Damn it!
Did I just see you, Frankie, try and cast? I've seen you cast that before. Are you trying to cast Fireball on me?
It's not the time for a fireball.
It's always
Seriously?
the time for a Fireball, my darling."
God, Frankie, okay, look, I apologise, right? But at least we're not fighting Keraptis, and he disappeared, so maybe it's all okay.
Does this look okay to you? We are in some sort of mechanical contraption with beholders. How on earth is this possibly okay?
Is this
It
what
seems like
happens
something that we
if
can
Keraptis
manage.
is never born?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't mean to alarm anyone, but you know how like my whole thing is that I can do a bit of the druid side and a bit of like the wizard side. I'm only really feeling the druid side at the moment, so that's fun.
That's interesting.
Huh.
I'm all bard, so you know it's all I am.
All bard.
I'm all bard, baby. All bard. This
Yes,
bard
I-
goes all the way to the core and back
Yes,
again.
we've all seen the posters, Hummel, I'm all bard.
I know you have all, Frankie. I know you have all of them. You asked me to sign a couple of them. Don't you even lie about it.
Hang
No.
on. I think.
I'll sign a
my
poster
wizard
for you,
side-
Carrie, if you want a signed poster. Don't worry
No,
about it. It's
I do
fine.
not want a signed poster. I've already told you that multiple times.
I'll send you one anyway. I'll
Anyways.
send you one anyway. When we get out of this, I'll send you a few.
Yes, Carrie. But when Hummel is dead, these posters will really rocket in value.
Sure, right, okay.
Don't like the
What
way
I
you're
was
talking.
trying to say, Gigi, was
Uh-huh.
I don't think my wizard side's not responding either. Something happened to wizards? Is there no wizards anymore?
Well, that's
Did
gonna
I-
make things a lot easier for the rest of us, at least.
Maybe if I cancelled the birth of Keraptis, all wizards don't exist anymore. Do you think that could be real?
Well, so far that seems a rather uplifting part of the situation we find ourselves in. I think those pesky, they're all a bit squishy for my liking.
I mean, that can make sense. Like, does anyone know the history of Keraptis before we got to like he's trying to take over the world bit? Like, did he found a wizarding school or something?
Well, I
Is he
didn't learn
J.K.
from
Rowling?
Keraptis.
No, I don't think so.
Is he transphobic?
So is he? Yeah. Give me. I don't know other people who've made wizarding. Is he Robert Jordan? There you go. I'll put that in. There you go.
Ursula Le Guin.
Yeah.
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 A very cool lady.
tells the stories that I know. He was disappeared 1,000 years ago. He's been away for 1,000 years, so his birth is a long time ago. Like,
well, that's a lot of history.
1,000+ years, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's the only song I know. Is he was born 1,000 years ago. It goes like that. It's a great one. It's one of my.
I know you sing it every day. We've been hunting Keraptis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to sleep in, but now I hear that every morning, so now I can't.
Well,
Thank
it's
you very much,
catchy.
Hummel.
It's all right. That's what I'm here for.
During this this entire exchange, the beholders ahead of you, sort of glumly and looking, sadly towards the beholder ball. The larger egg-shaped ones, sort of like, why don't we just go as one another's dates? At least then we can get in there. Ugh. Bob, that's the stupidest idea you ever said. God, what accent am I doing?
I love these accents. They're amazing. They're amazing.
If we go with one another, we'll be even more of a laughing stock than if we went without dates at all. I'm just ready to leave you fools behind because you didn't even wear the shades.
We can hear all this pretty well. So we
can hear all this. I mean,
are we floating below them, sort of like hiding, like below them? Is that kind of where we are? Or what's like a positioning to them? Are we sort of like, or are we like far away from them?
My understanding is that you're just like sort of further back down the corridor, like sort of
right.
hiding behind some sort of general, maybe like some sort of like a, an electronic box that powers things.
Yeah, I know. Like, substation.
Just
like
has flashing lights that goes beep.
MCB unit, I think they're called. Yeah.
So look
Hey,
about
folks.
So just look about
I
these
got an
behold-
idea.
Go.
And Carrie's literally just gonna step out in front of all the beholders, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, you looking for dates?"
Oh, this is a good idea.
The beholders all just whirl around, eyes looking at you, eyes on stalks, the central eyes sort of peering at you, an anti-magic ray coming from 3 directions, just sort of, engulfing all 4 of you as they all look. Well, you really go with us?
Of course. You think I want to go with these 3? Look at them. They're ugly.
Wait, no, you've got to sell us as well. I mean, we might go with them.
Yeah, we've got to...
I got it.
Damien,
But I mean...
the humanoids. I swear everyone was saying that humanoids are like all the hottest species, right?
Oh, for sure. But I mean, centaurs are obviously the hottest of the hottest, but the others, they're pretty hot too.
Yeah, legs are real hot. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the horse one.
Okay, so is that the
Coming
Shades
out,
one?
guys.
Is the Shades one still about?
That's the Shades one.
Right, okay. I want the one, okay, I'll go for, I wanted the Shades one, damn it. I'll sidle up to the other one and go, you like legs? And start pulling my trousers up a little bit, my breeches up, and just sort of like showing these I'm a halfling, so some very hairy feet and hairy legs, like really like rough, like I sort of scratch them a little bit seductively. Can you scratch hair seductively? I don't know, but I'm going to say you can.
I mean, I feel like it would be maybe off-putting to anyone else that actually has legs, especially anyone who's sort of got a penchant for the longer and hairless varieties. But these are beholders, and they don't really know a heck of a lot about limbs in the first place. They just know that, sort of out there in space, generally speaking, the more attractive and live species tend to be the legged and armored humanoid type ones. So, you'll do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which one do I get? What are they? Do they have a distinguishing feature?
So there's this sort of lanky one, the one with the oddly long eye stalks. There's the one that is sort of like kind of a bulbous, tall, egg-shaped one. Oh, cool. And then there's one that's just really small.
I'll take the taller one, because I would. Just so that I look particularly, that you'll, I'll sidle up to them and say, what do you like these legs?
It's an odd pairing. It's like, oh. And he's gone completely speechless. So like, sort of like freaking out at the prospect of having a date, but sort of extending one little eye on a stalk to sort of go into the crook of your elbow and lead you towards the ball.
You have very fine stalks, I must admit. I've never seen such fine stalks before. I'll tell you, and I'll just, as we're walking off, I'm telling him like a story of some beholder that I've met before, like Xanathar or something like that. You know, I once saw Xanathar, and I even think your stalks are better than his, or something like that.
So at this point, sort of, the lankier one is sort of like, like sort of sidled over to GG and is like, well, I guess that leaves you and me. I see that, and you see like the tiny little one is sort of standing there, almost in the shadow of Frankie, because I mean she's not exactly huge, she's a goblin, but this thing is a tiny little beach ball of a beholder, so looking up and like, yeah.
Yeah, so Frankie looks down, which she's not particularly used to doing. Truth be told, just fine, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, eyeball, I will lead when it comes to the dancing. And just rests her arm on top of the little one as he floats off, and she will follow along with him.
No, the arm rest, you sort of like walk, leaning.
Leaning, yeah. Like a mobile bar.
So the four of them start escorting you down this passageway towards the entrance, and as you start coming up, you realise that this great hall is styled on some sort of big beholder. The whole thing is like a shiny, multi-surfaced beholder approximation, but it's very glitzy and shiny. As you're getting closer, you see there's these like great uplights, like spotlights aiming at it, aiming back and forth. This seems to be like some big, fancy gala of some description. And you realise now that these four beholders, they are definitely wearing their finery. They've got these sashes that are made of some sort of shiny, silken material wrapped around them.
I like it.
Carrie's gonna kind of look down at everyone like sideways at all of our like battle hardened kind of ripped clothes, and it's just kind of like.
It's a very good point. We're all like looking really bad. I think
you say that, but Frankie's just gonna cast silence image on herself, and she's gonna have a spectacular ball gown.
Actually, I'm going to check if there's anything I can do.
I suppose you're well and truly to the side of your beholder, so you're not in the anti-magic ray.
Yeah. I'm keeping the frosty distance from this little beach ball.
What? I think I would. I might cast message to because I feel like Frankie's not doesn't like me at the moment, so I won't do it. So I'll just ask Carrie, Carrie, like, do I look all right? I want to look good for this. Like, I want to look my best. So what's wrong? What's wrong about this? What can I do? Like, is there anything I need to do? Like, tell me honestly, because I can take it. If that's 20 words.
I can't go back and unfuck your mother, so.
Wow. Okay. Right. You see Hummel just like, oh dear. Okay, I've lost all my friends. Looks like it's me and you, Beholder. We're gonna be best of friends. And I sort of like try and tidy myself up as best I can.
Still completely speechless. the taller sort of bulbous Beholder. And so you are led all the way up to the front door of this great hall, and there is this immense, powerful, ancient-looking beholder. It has almost sort of like you can imagine like kind of sort of a black diaper that has holes for all its little eye sockets to pop on. So it's got this black set of pants on, but then just sort of like a nice dress fabric kind of thing, and has what looks like kind of just big silvery weapons of some description bolted either side onto it as well. These things, this of all the beholders that they're looking in their finery, like looking like they're just having a nice time. This is the one beholder who's ready to fight, but he just sort of glances at you as all the tickets.
Look to my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all were
Gleaming
like
smile.
And all four beholders sort of step forward, beaming and pressing little devices that they have on their sides. These holographic tickets to sort of display up for the bouncer to sort of look at and scan with their own device, and all 4 of them. What? 4 plus 1s. Well, we don't have a dress code for alien species, so I would like to have it on all of your words that you are dressed in some manner of finery.
Yes.
Of course.
I'm just gonna have
the
to.
latest fashion in Waterdeep.
I mean, how
Frankie,
even-
they're right with the old times. This is the newest, hottest, innest ball finery that you could ever see.
I pull out one of my posters, in which I'm wearing what I'm wearing now, but less. I'm realizing it's a bit ragged, and go, see, it's even famous dress.
Yeah, see?
All right, and they're wearing this more or less the same thing. Okay. Perfect. All right. Don't cause any trouble. The beholder ball only happens once every 57 years.
Oh,
Alright.
this is a very major event. God.
All right.
You
Can
might
I,
get lucky.
Step through. Complimentary drinks on the left.
can I keep one of those tickets? No, oh, don't worry. It's fine.
Don't worry, babe. You can have my ticket after.
Why, thank you.
And Damien, the sunglass wearing beholder, is sort of creeping ever closer to Cassie, but Carrie,
Carrie, yeah.
keep creeping ever closer to Carrie, because it's carrots. Yeah.
Carrie kind of probably just clocks this and just like kind of smiles a bit and is just gonna like kind of just stand her ground. Like,
I'm expecting that little step that horses do, when they go like, do you know what I mean?
You think Carrie's gonna give any ground? Never.
Okay, true, very true, very true.
And so all 8 of you ushered through the door, and there is these like strips of shiny, shimmery silver plastic curtain that you come through, and step inside the Beholder's Ball.
All right, I'm at home again. Oh, you know what? This spell has been one of the best things I think I've ever done. Like, we're in an astral party. Come on, guys, let's enjoy ourselves, right? We haven't got anything else to do. I've got my flute. I've got my flute. Shall I do a tune? Shall I get the recorder out?
You mean like we haven't got anything else to do except find out what happened to Keraptis and, maybe stop him again and maybe stop him from being more powerful, from being in charge of the universe because you fucked up?
But there's my
Apart
ship.
from that.
And my ship for a start. I'm missing my ship. You have taken me away from my ship and my crew. We need to get off this floating rock.
I could do a song though, right? I could do one song.
I'm sure they already have entertainment here that probably get paid to come back, not paid to go away after they've performed.
I will give them the performance of their life. If I have you know that the 40,000 people came to see me once, and he goes off on one again.
Hummel, if you're gonna perform, just go perform. Don't talk about it.
Fine. Come on then, Lanky, let's go.
Still utterly speechless, Hummel's date leads on, and you all step in, and the floor is just lit up. The floor is like square segments that light up as people step on them, the colours sort of varying and so on. There's lights going around. There's a huge beholder-shaped disco ball in the centre of the ceiling up above you, this big domed building. And this place seems to be mostly dance hall. There's sort of sections of like booths and seating either side, to the left and to the right. As you come in, there's a table just with pre-prepared little drinks, and they seem to be these fluorescent green beverages, all sitting in almost sort of like vial-shaped glasses. Like imagine a test tube, but then with like a little champagne flute bottom.
Frankie's going to go over to the drinks and pick 2 up. Walk back towards her date and then neck both of them right in front of him.
Brilliant.
The date sort of expectantly you're like comes opening a mouth and then and then sort of dejectedly floats over to the table to grab a drink for itself.
Tell me, beach ball. I don't care for your name. What's the security like around here?
Medium.
Okay, medium, right. Medium. How many guards? We saw the old one at the front door. Are they all armed like that one?
Oh, I guess so. A medium, like less than a bank, but more than a corner shop.
You've been most helpful. Tell you what, good chap. Just go and get me another drink over there, please.
Oh, okay. Sort of awkwardly going. I mean, these beholders, they're not particularly equipped for carrying lots of drinks. So they're sort of awkwardly like wrapping an eye stalk around some of these things to gather them, giving you ample time to sort of look about while the tiny beholder is busy just trying to sort of like float up high enough to even grab these cups.
Yeah. So looking around, obviously trying to look past the obvious party going around there. Were the doors out of this? Because obviously we're trying to get through this area. Is there anything that looks guarded or?
So, once you've sort of taken the scene, there are beholders everywhere. They all seem to be, for the most part, like young beholders, like the ones that you're accompanied by. But they all seem like a little bit, more sort of perfectly spherical and uniform in size. Like these are obviously the sort of the strange loner, oddball beholders who couldn't find dates, and they're all sort of paired off, like dancing about. Or sitting in booths drinking. There's a lot of merriment. There's just a pounding, throbbing music, which must be what passes for beholder entertainment in this time and place. And yeah, there's this sort of the eating and drinking areas off to either side, but then there is two curved staircases that both go around up onto a higher level. And up there, you can see that there are much larger beholders up there. Up in that raised up section, which sort of seems to be like a like maybe like the owners or VIPs, of this whole shindig might be up there. And there's one particular immense beholder that has what is sort of like just a big array of spectacles with each one with a purple shade. So like we got like 9 purple sunglass units, all on an odd, almost steampunky array of copper wiring. It's like wearing, and that beholder seems to be almost holding court, like sitting at a corner booth that's sort of looking down over the entire event, with several smaller beholders sort of gathered about.
I would turn to my dad and just be like, "Hey, so you couldn't get any glasses like that?"
Oh. Well,
I'm not saying yours are bad, just like, they're pretty swanky. And you seem like a swanky guy.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll get them next, but
I mean, where should you even get glasses like that? Like, what do they mean? You're wearing glasses like that, you mean something by it.
Well, they cost a lot, alright? So I'm assistant manager. I'll be manager soon at the Shake Shack, and then I will get any glasses I want, and you'll see. You should come there when I work. I can get you 20% off.
Oh, that's so kind of you. It's very impressive. You should be proud.
Sort of like beaming away.
So, like, if that guy is so rich they can afford these cool glasses, like, who are they? Why are they so rich?
Well, you don't know who that is?
No.
Well, it's only like it's not really that cool. He's just...
Oh, no. Not as cool as you, obviously.
Well, it's called Has, and they own the station, I guess, and they throw on the ball, so that's whatever. I wasn't even gonna come.
Well, he wasn't gonna come, or you weren't gonna come?
I wasn't gonna come.
Well, why weren't you gonna come? It's a nice ball. You get to see swanky glasses.
If you like that sort of thing, I just keep it chill, really.
You do strike me as a very chill guy. Yes.
There's
Do you want a drink?
There's one thing I'd like to know. How does he clean those glasses?
Oh, hey, Frankie.
Frankie just starts waving her arms around.
That's a very good question.
Well, has got a whole lot of humanoid assistants to do that sort of thing. Hands looking sort of like awkwardly at all your hands. Like,
did you not have a cousin that did that, Frankie?
Oh, I've had many cousins who have done many menial tasks that are a bit below me, but
of course.
Yes.
Hummel is looking for a band. Is there a band playing, or is it just a DJ?
there is a DJ, and you don't see them at first because you realize you don't have a very good angle on them. But actually, on a floating platform that sort of drifts around the room. It was behind the disco ball at first, but coming around, there is like basically a flying stage, and there's this sort of like flickering, shimmering like jet propulsion system beneath it, keeping it going. The whole thing is perfectly circular, has its own lighting rigs on it. So as it comes around, there's just this sort of whole light show and smoke pouring out the back of it. And dead in the center is the DJ, and almost everyone else here is a beholder. This DJ, however, is not. I mean, beholders have a real hard time switching the records. And this is a four-armed humanoid. Just sort of a magenta in color with an elongated snout. Also wearing a pair of very 80s looking shades and just sort of, like bopping as they hold their headphones to one ear and pretend to twiddle something on the big elaborate
Like all
display in
DJs.
front of them. Or, I mean, they pretend to twiddle three somethings because they've got the arms to do it. You got to work twice as hard when you're a multi-limbed DJ.
At faking DJing, yeah.
Who's that DJ over there?
Oh, well, it's pretty neat. They call him Z. Whatever.
I'm gonna try. I don't have any way of Can I Is it high enough that I could throw a rope up there or something? Is there a way that I could get up there? Is there some sort
Yeah,
of
I mean, it's not particularly high. It's sort of floating at this point where, the beholders, any of them who are sort of floating up in their dancing, do actually sort of duck a little bit to let it pass.
yeah,
It all feels a bit haphazardous as this thing sort of creeps around.
So what I might say is to my beholder partner, the lanky guy, do you think you can get me up there? I think that could be fun, right? Yeah, you can fly. You're a beholder, right? You can get me up there.
Still speechless. The large beholder just sort of gives an awkward nod with its entire body.
Yes. But come on then, let's go. I've got an idea. And then I'll message. I've realised Carrie hates me now as well, so I'll try Gigi as my third attempt to go. Gigi, got a plan, right? I go up there. I'm gonna cause I'm gonna make do a distraction the best way I know how to make a distraction. You find a way to whatever that thing we need to do, so both we can fix the problem and I can have a good party at the same time. How's that sound? In 20 words.
Yeah. What's the thing that we need to do?
I cast it twice because I've got it a cantrip. I just keep casting it. Just message.
That's a ludicrous limitation, isn't it?
It's so stupid. I don't even use it.
You're never going to use message in combat, surely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just assume that you can reply to this message.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds like I've got much choice in this, to be honest. So what do you want me
Before
to
you've
do?
even finished talking, I'm already floating up.
The larger, shy beholder wanting to impress. They've managed to come to the ball with possibly, one of the most attractive dates that anyone's been on.
The leggiest of legs, to be fair.
Yeah, just those short, squat, furry legs. We've got a whole Eiffel. We've got several Eiffels, and just floating up with Hummel sort of strapped onto the back, I guess, up towards the stage, and and the DJ
climb onto the top a little bit, so I'm sort of like if I can hold on to one of the eye stalks, so I'm sort of riding it like a space hopper.
Yeah, absolutely. So the DJ is not paying any attention to this sort of thing, and just sort of is steamrolling into. So suddenly, the two of you are just being carried off away to a further part along the dance floor by this thing, as the beholder is sort of awkwardly like floating and trying to control things. Now just sort of stuck to the front of the stage, getting carried along.
Okay. I might try to. I'll when I get to the front of it, I'll sort of cast a vicious mockery on Z. I hope it's not the Z. I hope it's not the Z. But I will. Yeah. So I will cast. I will say. It's just something along the lines as, "Your music taste absolutely sucks," like that, and use that as like a vicious and like kind of push that out to him and goes, "Yeah, I think my granddad has better records than you do. Like, what is this crap?" And that's what I'll say to him.
Okay, what's your charisma?
My charisma is.
Oh, I don't have that in front of me.
+5.
What's your
20.
I just need to do a
20.
save against a passive.
Oh yeah, so
is
it's
that right?
yes, it is. Give me a second. My spell save. Vicious mockery. It's a wisdom 16 save.
Okay, well I've only rolled a 13 there, so
okay, fine.
Z kind of caught unawares by this whole thing as well. It's just struck by it and like looking down, suddenly spotting you in the beholder, all four arms sort of flailing as Z flips off the back of the stage and lands with a thud in the middle of the dance floor, narrowly missing a pair of dancing beholders who just sort of like whoop apart and then come back together as though the DJ didn't just fall on them, because I mean these are all like, yeah, rich kids spoiled beholders. I mean, whatever. Yeah. The music's still going, so who cares?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I quickly rifle through what CDs, like whatever, like records, if it's records. I don't know what decade we're in. 80s, you're saying? So like some records or like 8 tracks.
I mean, I think they're kind of space records,
Space records. But I'll see if
they're
they've got
same,
a Hummel
but
toe.
they're silvery.
If they've got any Hummel toe in there. If they've got any Hummel classics, like the greatest hits. Do I find one?
I mean, what are the chances that Hummeltoe's music has survived into this this far-flung
Do you want to make a roll?
future?
I'll make a roll for it.
Give me a D100.
A D100. Okay, yeah.
You need to roll
All right.
100.
I need percentages to really think about this sort of oddball request.
All right, roll D100. Come on. Oh, I can do it in the. Oh, I could have done it in the. They have one in this little the Albert, don't they? You got a 100. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. 61.
61. So rummaging about, messing about with all these things. I mean, it's this technology you don't entirely understand. It's music though, so it can't be that hard. There is a bit of a record scratching sound as the music stops, but a sort of a device that you picked up and sort of like when knocking about on things lets out a scream of feedback, and as you sort of exclaim in horror, your voice echoes out into the room, and you realize the device you hold in your hand is a bardic wand of great power. This thing commands the attention of the entire building. It commands the attention of anyone in your vicinity, and you could do whatever you want with this thing.
Okay, I think with that, it's. I think I realize what's happened, and I go into that sort of like I've had a long day, but I know I kick into my bardic core, which is like I gotta please a crowd. I can do this. What better song is there? And I go, shot to the heart, and you're to blame, darling. You give love a bad name, and then I scream that out and start singing. That's not even my favorite song, but it's the best one that came to me.
So the record scratch moment. The music stops. All these beholders are staring up at what's happened. Where's the DJ? Who is this strange, small humanoid? And then out comes the Bon Jovi. And they are still just staring in absolute confusion.
Ow, bugger. I keep singing.
It's almost as though this just doesn't register to them as being some sort of music they should dance to, as being something that is even worth their time. And they're sort of like looking around the room to one another. And then finally, like a lot of eyes are suddenly gazing back at the rest of the party. It's like, hang on. This is weird humanoid music. Do these people know anything about this?
If I had message right now.
You see me going like this, like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I quickly make a turn and I try and think of the music I've heard before. I get out my recorder that I have and I go and try and play the recorder by breathing in and go, only joking, and go and try and do it to some weird beat and see if it works. Okay, so I'm like playing it backwards. Yeah, I'm thinking it's a new Infernal track. Yeah,
and it's at this point, all eyes sort of like looking back at the party, looking back up at Hummel, looking back down at the party. That Damien, the nonchalant, or at least wanting to be beholder, realizes that this is their moment. Everyone is looking their way. Everyone's seeing their sweet shades. And no one knows quite what to do. This whole party is falling apart. And they thrive on that kind of energy. And they just strut forward. I mean, as much as a floating being can, away from their date, casting aside any need for anyone. You know, they were going to arrive stag in the first place. They don't need some centaur horsey thing to hang onto their arm. You know, she can stay by the table and drink. That's fine. As they take center stage and start dancing. The only person dancing at first to Hummel's odd fluty music, but then something magical happens as other beholders sort of start nodding and joining in. And before you know it, you know, Damien's friends sort of race in as well, also just abandoning their new dates. You know, like, what did they think they needed them? As they join the dance floor, and suddenly everything's full force once again. The party is going, and Hummel has his captive audience, and the other three of you are sort of left almost ignored over by the drinks table.
At this point, Frankie's going to nod over to Carrie and to Gigi and say, I think this might be our cue to try and get on that top platform.
Get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
It's in classic dungeon crawl, man. I think we should take the left staircase.
Classic.
As good as any.
That's also an architectural thing, by the way. You always turn left in a building.
Yeah.
People always turn left in a
Yeah.
building. Yeah.
Makes sense. Put reception there, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So again, just Frankie, she wants to try and just stealth away, just cutting through these beholders up to the threshold of the first step of the left-hand staircase.
Carrie will follow, but she's probably not even going to try and be stealthy,
Yeah.
because that will just go badly.
Well, Frankie gets a 14 on a stealth roll for.
So I mean, Frankie is like at least marginally stealthy, like more stealthy than not, and certainly completely like any of the beholders that are focused on dancing on the dance floor don't notice her at all. They more likely to notice the other two sort of plodding through, however.
Yeah, I just like that style. That Frankie's trying to sneak the other two behind and just kind of like, yeah, whatever, and just walking through.
No, walk like you're meant to be there, and no one will notice.
Yeah.
So are you just gonna like walk up the stairwell on the left as bold as brass and
Yeah.
see what may?
I think like if Frankie's ahead and we're just like, Frankie's got her back, it's fine. We're going up. It's all good.
So, sort of up there is just at this big main booth where the where Haz is holding court. There's only 4 beholders up there, but one of them is one of the larger black pants wearing security beholders, standing directly in front of a sort of a round platform that has a little console on it. It's hard to say what it is, but you get the impression, the way that it's being guarded by someone standing in front of it, that perhaps it's a portal of some description.
I'll like whisper to Gigi and just be like, I think that's our ride.
Okay, so how do we get there and get bloody Hummel along with us?
Do we really need Hummel with us? I mean, like seriously.
Good point.
I mean, Hummel is creating a very convenient disturber of the peace, but also, as much as he annoys me right now, and he's fucked the universe, I don't particularly want Hummel to die.
Yes,
Quite
but
useful.
doesn't the mother dire wolf sacrifice the smallest and the slowest one so that the rest of the pups can survive?
What you see right now is Hummel like turning completely blue and red at the same time because they're trying to still breathe in and play a flute, and they're somehow breathing in, like trying to keep this up, and like nearly dying for you for this. Like,
did you have a recorder to make to make this music?
I actually don't.
Well,
I
you
really
have
don't.
bagpipes.
I do. Oh, you know what? If I have my
I have a piccolo.
No, I have. I need to just go in my cupboard of stuff.
Oh, cat.
So the beholder with all the glass, the glass lenses. Where's he or she? Is there at the front of that platform?
So yeah, they the booth is sort of positioned so it is overlooking all the way down to the dance floor, and it is in front of the platform. So Has the gangster that runs this place basically is sitting with their back to the portal.
Right. Okay. And then behind them is where the portal is, with someone guarding it. Is that?
Yeah, with a single security guard.
Yeah,
but,
right.
A very large beholder, heavily armed.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. What if I was to use Mage Hand to pull those glasses off that beholder? Do you think that would cause a distraction? If the boss's glasses went off, do you think the security guard would go and check that?
Probably.
They
seem pretty important.
Try, yeah.
Yeah, I think Frankie's gonna try and cast Mage Hand to try and pull the glasses off this gangster beholder, in the hope that the glasses falling down onto the main dance floor will cause the bodyguard or the security guard to rush over to see what's happening.
Alrighty. So you're just gonna sort of like just fling them out onto the dance floor?
Yeah, just Mage Hand. Yeah, just fling them out to the middle of the dance floor.
All right. So you are in one of the few places in this building where you're not in a sort of a constant array of anti-magic activity. Actually, with so many beholders gathered in one place, not a normal circumstance in most D&D settings.
This is not a normal D&D setting.
Up here on this platform, there's only a few of them. So your Mage Hand, they're not really used to magic here, despite being arcane beings. Yeah, when they're gathered in these sort of places, no one's ever casting any magic for them to absorb into their eye stalks. So they're kind of technology-driven beholders, this lot anyway. So this beholder is just not ready for that. As the glasses just fly off and vanish down below, and that beholder lunges up over the table, almost like as though they think they can somehow snatch the glasses out of the air, but lacking any appendages to do such. They just sort of spill drinks all over the place and are left looking down over the balcony as the glasses drop down below. Luckily, beholders don't have any feet to stomp and crush them to pieces, so they are mostly unmolested down on the dance floor below. But Has is looking mighty angry and sort of like flying about.
You! Go and get my glasses back, and if there's even a single scratch on them, it's coming out of your pay!
And that the security guards are like, looking, and then just rushes down the right stairwell, down towards the dance floor to go and try and retrieve these glasses. Leaving the portal more or less unguarded.
I guess we're gonna sneak to the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frankie's looking fairly pleased with herself. I told you that would work. If someone can get the attention of the small one with the hairy feet, I can get on to people.
Still doing that. Oh, that's so dusty. I haven't used that in a long time.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's all I'm doing of that.
I'm trying to think of a way to get the Hubble's attention without also getting everybody else's attention.
Because he's the one with message, right?
Yeah, he's the one with the message.
I mean, on the bright side, you are at sort of like a raised elevation, so
That's true.
You're going to sort of stand out a little bit if you were to try and make any sort of visual cue.
Did I
perhaps.
notice, even whilst I'm doing this, like doing that, playing the recorder, do I even notice that they've this like commotion has happened, like with the?
What? I'm of two minds about that. With the limited I know about Hummel, I think there's equal possibilities that he's actually paying attention to what's happening with the distraction, because that was the whole point of it, or that he's completely forgotten that it was a distraction and is just enjoying having a captive audience.
Yes, exactly. I think it's probably the latter. That he's more interested in his audience than he is in anything else, to be honest. Probably.
Okay.
I mean, he's putting so much effort into playing backwards.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
He probably was keeping an eye on them, but maybe he probably saw the commotion, but doesn't know, and probably waiting for them to disappear.
Okay. I'm gonna get my short bow out, and I'm gonna try and shoot like one of the lights or something, or one of the records like next to Hummel.
Amazing.
To get his attention.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need an attack roll for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
15.
15.
That's definitely not going to hit Hummel.
Well, that's good.
My
Whether he'll
AC is
notice.
19. So
It's fine. It's the inverse of that, you know.
yeah. So you
If she
missed.
was aiming for you, she would have definitely missed. But you know, as it is.
Technically, I should hit you.
Technically. Yes. Then. So that misses me. So I'm keeping just doing my sound on the thing. Maybe after some time I'd take a little perception just to have a look. Do I see what I can see? Like I might be like getting a bit tired.
Getting tired, realizing you can't hold this on forever. Suddenly there's this realization, oh, there was a point to all this.
Yeah.
And Hummel does cast an eye back towards the balcony. It's sort of it's obfuscated from behind the great big disco ball, but as the thing sort of floats back around, you finally get a view of the other three are up there, desperately trying to get your attention, knocking another arrow ready to shoot it in your general direction.
This time she's shooting you.
Huddled at the top of the stairs, sort of indicating that the unguarded portal.
Okay. Well then with that I will then quickly cast, not knowing if this will work, but cast invisibility on myself, which I have. So I'll just sort of like drop invisible and the music stops like immediately, but I'll try and hit like loads of buttons. Do you know what I mean? I'm like just hitting buttons, hoping that something happens, and then I'll try and I'll use I got Long Strider, which gives me like 10 feet using higher spells, so I get an extra like 20 feet of movement, and I'll sort of jump as far as I can.
Alright, so you basically want to get as far as you can while maintaining invisibility, hopefully
Yes.
without dropping directly into the eyeliner of one of these beholders, which will immediately reveal you to the room.
Yes.
It sounds
Hummel,
so simple
if
when
you
you put it that
hadn't
way.
noticed, is a glass half full kind of guy.
I mean, I'm definitely going to need some sort of acrobatics check.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Acrobatics, I got +6. So can I roll? Let me just roll in this dice tray and I'll add +6. Where is it? So come on, D20, give me something good. 17 +6 is 23.
Oh, I mean, you're fine. So
Yes.
Hummel, invisible, pushing a bunch of buttons,
Yeah.
casting the strider and like leaping way across the room. Everything sort of happens at once. The light show goes a bit nuts. The floating stage is sort of wavering about all over the show. It looks as though it's sort of going doom, 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 as though it's supposed to be in time to some sort of music. Perhaps this was like some sort of button that you've knocked that was like the finale to the whole performance, because the light show was going real crazy. And you can see like all around, like sort of laser beams, sort of like lighting up all around, these green lines crisscrossing all over the room as all the main lights go out, and there's just spots of green light just bouncing off the disco ball in all directions. The beholders are stunned, amazed, and it's at this moment, the sort of the weird, crackling, horrible noises that are happening, it's just it stops. And then just this slow crescendo back into some sort of beat, which drops at the same moment as Hummel drops back down onto the dance floor, a good 20 feet across and very close to the stairwell, but into the line of sight of many beholders, immediately becoming magic resistant and visible. But it doesn't matter, because these beholders they've been given this climax a little bit too early, but they were getting a little bit sick of the strange flute music.
Yeah.
And sort of nimbly passing by, these beholders, like, they're rushing the dance floor. Before there was sort of a few weirdos.
Shh, it's just, I'm trying to do some stage of magic. You didn't see me. And then I'll just, like, walk on, like, as if it's, like, part of the act, you know? Like, I was just trying to make it, you know, they weren't meant to see me, but that was it.
But yeah, beholders, they're all rushing the dance floor now. Some of them who are, like, you know, so back against the wall with the drinks, and others from the booth. They're all just sort of getting in there because they're like, oh, this is my jam. And it's at this point that you're all sort of gathered at the stairs. Hummel's sort of at the bottom of them, and the rest of you at the top of them. But this is as good a distraction as you're going to get.
Yeah. Hummel, come on! You gotta get to the portal.
Running with I've got long strider for an hour, so I'm running pretty fast. I'm running, and I'm casting at high levels. So I'm running like 50 feet, I think, at a go. 45 feet, which is a lot for a halfling. So those little legs are just like very which are still raised up. Like I've got them like what are they called, like clam diggers or whatever the other name for them. Do you know what I mean? Like so they're like ankle high, above my legs, so I can see my ankles because I'm like showing off my legs still, sort of running up the stairs. Yeah.
So as you're rushing up, you can see now that the formerly bespectacled is staring down on the dance floor like, stop them! Stop them! And you realise down below the security guard is chasing after the smaller, the tiny little beach ball of a beholder that was one of your dates, who has snatched up the glasses and is running circles around the outside of the dance floor, being followed almost comically by this security guard. Meanwhile, in the centre of the dance floor, Damien, the sunglass nerd, has been lifted up by fellow beholders. Like, this is the best night of my life.
Yes.
Are you going to attempt stealth, or are you just going to rush this portal?
Let's just run.
I'm rushing. No, nothing more than that.
Yeah. And as we're running, Frankie's going to turn around to him. I'm so glad you made it. I told the others to wait for you, but they said no. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here.
To me?
Yeah, to Hummel. Yeah.
Can I make an insight check on that bullshit?
I mean, considering that, like, I'm sure Carrie is giving like what the fuck eyes to Frankie.
I'll be like,
that's gonna help you.
You know what, Frankie? I know you love me really, and I'll just keep running.
I will roll a pause to your insight by persuasion.
No, I'll actually just with my own belief. I'll have this belief. I innerly believe, no matter what Hummel believes, everyone loves him. So he doesn't. Even if you really hate him on the surface right now, he knows deep down you really care. Knowing that you were all thinking about not bringing me with you.
It's a part-time thing, People are going to be a little bit put out if you break the universe, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's only minor. Exactly.
All right, so you can all rush into this portal, and you get on there expectantly, standing on this little raised platform. It fits the four of you easily. It's sort of a few meters around the circular platform with this little console on one side, and nothing happens.
Oh, for the love of fuck.
All right.
If Carrie had sleeves, she'd roll them up, and she's like, right.
What
is this?
Where's that Brian chap? Where's Brian when you need it?
So, yeah, I mean, Carrie can look at it, and this is technology. This is definitely in her wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. It's very foreign technology, but I mean...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can I, do an intelligence check of some kind to try and figure out where the go button is?
I think that is the best course of action.
Will someone just press a button, please?
I'm trying to figure out the right one. That's a non-natural 20.
A non-natural 20?
Yeah.
But a 20 all the same.
Oh, I can't do maths. No, it's an 18.
It's an 18. That changes
Chloe,
everything.
Who has a
No.
physics degree, can't do maths.
Me with a maths-based degree.
Yeah.
Can't do maths, no.
So this technology seems like incredibly advanced. You definitely you wouldn't be able to make the thing, but you've got yourself like a working knowledge. I think you can say, well, this is you can understand. Oh, I know how they've done this. It's basic technomancy. Really, it's just a bit more leaning on the techno side, and you've
Pun
worked
intended.
out exactly the button to push, and really in the nick of time, as the beholders sitting in the booth up on this level with you are all sort of like looking back at you, like and then sort of like opening their mouth, like ready to sort of tap Haz on the back, like, oh, are they supposed to be? When Carrie pushes the button and the four of you feel yourselves sort of blink into darkness and then blink back into light as you are teleported in the most like effortless, like comfortable teleportation sensation you've yet to experience. This is just like a smooth ride. It's not really like an arcane teleportation of any kind. No strange feelings that I have to describe as a dungeon master whatsoever, as you're just effortlessly taken from one room to another. And it's in this room. It's everything is completely different now. You're still like this gunmetal metallic room, but there's no lights, there's no display. It's just sort of this raised up, almost looks like this tower. But then you realize eventually this tower is hovering. As the four of you blink onto a similar platform to the one that you just left, and you're looking up at this strange, like tall, floating tower. And it's at that point that you see that the tower sort of opens up, a little ramp descending from it with a lit, wide doorway, and stepping down or floating down from that doorway is the Grinch-like figure from before. It's like, it took you long enough. All right, come on, get in here.
Well, I'm sorry, we don't all blink in and out like you do.
Yes. Well, look, I'm going to take you to the void, to the void or the abyss.
The abyss.
I'm going to take you on to the abyss. It's not nearly as bad as it sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot that in the butt here and now. It's just the abyss is just a lot of portals. Okay, it's all you got to think is just lots of portals. That's all the abyss is. There's things that will try and we're gonna go quickly to a portal because they got so many portals. There's definitely gonna be one because you broke the universe. Okay, you broke
I
the
did
universe.
not break the universe. Hummel broke the universe.
I can teleport anywhere I want if the universe is fixed. But the universe is broken. It's taking me strange places, taking me here. We got to go to the abyss. So, all right, everyone come and get in here. I think using their Star Warp drive, I can probably do a perfect teleportation and I can take us to the abyss.
Great.
Okay.
Fine, let's just get on with it. It's been a long day and it's all confusing. I would want to go to a tavern.
Alrighty, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Everybody's here. Okay. Keep your hands inside the teleportation spell. We're going on a little trip. And here we go. And all of a sudden, you are taken apart. You are whipped out. You're hurtling through like non-space in a tunnel once more. Hopefully on your way to the abyss.
And then suddenly it phases again. Whoa! If it will transition. It's being really slow. My computer's like really trying so hard. It's gonna happen at some point. Yay! There we go. Yes. Suddenly. Yes. And then you're travelling back in one of these portals. A bit like what you were in before, but not quite. This feels much more like your previous example, where it was much smoother ride. There's a much more... It's not like a tunnel. You're not seeing any visions. You literally just kind of spin and then spin out. And you land in front of you. It's a completely different visage. You've gone from something that's all purples and night sky, blue lights and yellow lights, and it's all disco realm, and now it is just a red sky. It's just a very vast, like blood red sky. There is some sort of light source off at one end, but it's more intense red. The ground is a sandy red, like Martian landscapes. It's just
that sort of deep sort of crimson-y colour. It feels like there's sort of dew and like water collecting on some places, but that is also sort of a bloody red colour. It's sort of congealed with the sand. And you take a bit of time, you kind of like to get your head back into space, and in front of you there is just a huge, like, ridiculous black metal, grand sort of Sauron-esque tower in front, like about half a mile away. But there's not much between you and that apart from this path. And then there's like a river down to the right hand side, and then on the left hand side there's some sort of weird structure that's smoking, and you can't quite understand it. Your brain quite can't compute it. The Brian though turns to you and kind of is like dazed as well, and then goes, "Oh fuck," and then looks, and then as you start noticing that this land looked kind of normal, but then you see these blue sparks happening in the distance, like things are splitting in a very similar way to the colour and shape of that portal that you saw when it sort of cracked, and those black sort of edges and blue purple sort of things pushed you out. This is sort of fissures, and they're coming closer to you, like it's kind of going, and you're seeing land sort of like erupting in shards, and like they're floating islands, and that's like instead of a tsunami of water, it's a tsunami of like land being raised from the earth, and then just raised, and then raised, and until suddenly it's like you think it's going to come right to you, and then it just sort of like about another half mile beyond the sort of black tower, and this river, that's sort of this grey river runs in. It just cuts a line through it, and it starts shifting, and you can make a dexterity save if you will.
Okay. 12, so it's 19.
Roll one for Hummel.
Yeah, roll one for Hummel. Just give
14.
me a 17. Okay, fine. So anyone over a 15 sort of manages to stay upright. Anyone over 10 manages to get their hands onto the ground. Anyone other than that, under 10, rolls for a bit before stopping themselves, basically. But they roll about 15 feet before they kind of like hit another rock. And then another one ruptures from the other side, and it kind of cracks. So like you've got one that's kind of gone this way, one that's gone that way, and then suddenly the earth sort of floats up, and you're like, what the? And you're sort of, this rock is floating, and then you see all the rest of the earth is now like, of these structures is floating away from you.
I thought you said this was all portals.
Brian then goes, I think they all just broke. And then we'll leave it there.
Wow.
That's it. And then, there we go. Thank you. There will be a post-credit scene for this. The city of Sigil rotates around a spire, endlessly turning at the center, or what some say, the center of the multiverse. At the edge of the precipice, looking over onto this circular structure, stands a figure. Her face, a maze of blades that emanate from a center. A visage that sort of turns from purples to blues to reds. She floats in a flowing gold and red dress, hovering above a stone plinth. As she stares over the city of Sigil, and in the center the spire, she turns around, and as that occurs, the circle sort of flips over on itself, and she looks over to her own plane. A demi-plane of Carceri, some say, but a plane of mazes, a plane of incarceration, where all that oppose her will, all that oppose her in any form, even those that even pray to her or see her as a god, live amongst this endless maze from her. At the center of this maze is a face, and this face is staring up into a red orb, and she stares at it as it starts to grow and grow. Her face widens, her eyes widen, and she stares at it, and she looks scared, she looks worried. She reaches her arms out,
and she uses an energy that is beyond mortals, beyond some of the powers that you've seen, clerics, mages, that you can even imagine. She emanates this power and tries to control this orb that is growing. She's trying to, you can see her starting to struggle, someone that, to most in the city of Sigil, has never shown an inch, a bead of sweat, has never touched that brow, but now it's glistening. She is at the edge of a potential, something that is hurting a near god. She holds onto this orb as it grows and grows. She doesn't know how to control it. She's trying to hold it into the center, and suddenly that image flips again as she sees she's holding the orb and trying to contain it as it flips over and beyond and behind her into the center of Sigil. She's controlling, trying to hold this object as it then turns, and our vision turns back, as I said, to the Sigil, the city of Sigil. The circle reverts back over the spire in the middle, and the red orb stands aloft in the center atop this spire of the Outlands. She holds for a moment. You see her gaze and focus, and she seems to tie off something and leaves it there and goes, "That wasn't meant to happen." And that's
Awesome.
it. So, yeah, that will be your post-credit scene.
Cool.
Right to you. So, thank you, everyone. That was our first episode.
Oh.
So, yeah, thank you. First off, I'm going to have to thank our esteemed guest, Dick Dynamite from Backwater Bastards.
Thank you for having me.
That was
it's
absolutely incredible.
Just crazy enough an idea for me to get behind.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not too crazy an idea for me. I'm not sure which way I want to word that, but
yeah.
Both.
It found that perfect Goldilocks moment.
Goldilocks craziness.
Craziness, yeah. Well, thank you. I couldn't think of. Well, I had this idea I wanted you to be on, and then I saw this Beholder Disco, and I thought that had to be something. I didn't do any more than just give you that's it, Beholder Disco, and you made it your own in the most magical way. Obviously, I love all the characters. They are great.
That's awesome.
I think we're gonna have to meet them again at some point.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And if we will ever have Dick back, if ever want to come back,
please come back.
I mean, I still got stories to tell with these nerdy beholders.
Yeah,
I think we're going to scratch the surface of what they're capable.
To be fair, that sounds like a great TV show, Nerdy Beholders.
It was very like Revenge of the Nerds, sort of like 1980s high school comedy.
100%.
It was great.
Yeah.
When I heard Beholder Disco, that was immediately what came to my thought. I mean, this is an 80s movie with like,
I just feel like I want to go and watch Footloose now.
Yes. That's a good shout. Okay, well maybe we'll do that. We'll all go watch Footloose. But no, but seriously, thank you so much. And everyone can find anything you do by going to @BWBastards on Twitter and finding stuff, and Backwater Bastards anywhere you find good
backwaterbastards.com. We're a podcast.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things that you can look at and listen to, but the podcast is the main one. Just go to the website. You'll find all the different ways you can get to us.
Yeah, and you do some streaming, or do you promote that?
I stream on Twitch every now and then, but you know what? If you want to find my Twitch, just come find us in the Backwater Bastards Discord.
Yes.
Much more reliable to find me there anyway.
That's true. Yeah, you should join the Discord. Everyone should join the Discord. There's Cleo's meme pit. There's loads of stuff in there. I mine it for memes all the time. Half the memes I put in our one, I just go, what's Taylor done?
I mean, Taylor's good on the memes.
She is bloody good on the memes. And because I've had Dan, I've had Taylor, and I've had you. So I don't know if a Herodotus player still exists though in the world. Does he?
Well, he was hard to nail down at the best of times. Now that we've like let him slip the leash, it's like, well,
that's it. It's gone.
We're really gonna have to like book slots and even to get them back on the Backwater Bastards.
For this, and I'll count that I've ticked all of you off on being on the show. That's it now. Then I can move on to the next.
You collected the set of the current Bastards.
Yeah. I got the shiny though now. That's the thing. I've got the DM, which would be the shiny sticker, right? Yeah. So thank you very much for that, Dick. And then and also for playing Hummel for a bit as well, because the usual player is not there. But it's a multiverse, so it doesn't matter. You can tons of different people.
There's just a whole lot of Hummel
Exactly. They're all there. Everyone has one inside them.
And obviously, this is the biggest and most ambitious multiverse project going on at the moment, like worldwide, right?
Oh yeah,
there's
of
nothing else I can
course.
think of.
I
so.
can't
The most
think-
ambitious project ever written.
I can't even think of anyone doing anything similar. No. So, yeah, so, anyway, my players, amazing players. So I'll start alphabetically as ever. Carrie, played by Chloe. Chloe, over here. Thank you so much. I would have done a bit of the intro, but you can say quickly where we find you, what you do, other than being on the show.
Yeah, I can be found everywhere on the internet at Chloe_with_the_flow. I stream on Twitch 3 times a week. I'm on Deck of Many Aces, which is a D&D podcast made with actual asexuals. And I write music, I act, I sing, I do a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, come find me. Mostly on Twitter is where I put most things. So yeah,
Awesome.
say hi.
With Chloe, it's honestly quicker if she lists the things she doesn't do.
Yes,
Yes.
I realised this last time I talked to Chloe. I was like,
Every time I do it, I'm like trying to make it shorter, and then I forget something, and I'm like, oh, and this.
amazing. And then Chris, Frankie Flight.
Yeah. So yes, I have to follow Chloe once again. So Chloe's long list of amazing stuff she does, and I just say hi. This is my name. On Twitter you can find me at borough_brick_road. You can also find me on Instagram on Goblin Paint Job. And obviously on the Roleplay Factory / Dragon Duel Discord. Come along, come join us.
Everyone should, they come to the Discord, we all chat in there and talk meal deals more than anything. That's how shit they are. And then last but definitely not least, Will, playing GG.
Hi, GG. Any resemblance to other fictional characters, totally coincidental. You can find me on A Rendezvous with Destiny, which is on Twitter at RWD_pod. Every time I promo it, I wish we had a more easy to spell name, but oh well. It's an actual play podcast of Onyx Path Scion System. It's a game we think is kind of a mix between American Gods and Percy Jackson, about 3 college kids who find out they're actually part of this world full of mythology and monsters and gods, and it gets very fun. So you can find us there at RWD_pod. We also have a Discord to hang out in, or you can catch me in the Roleplay Factory Discord.
There you go.
With Hamilton and all these other great people.
Yeah. And I've kind of tried to get Dick into that podcast, into that Discord, but you're elusive in your own Discord sometimes because you're a busy man. You're a busy man. That's just
I'm always somewhere. But,
yeah, exactly. You'll always be able to find you somewhere.
It must be a DM thing because the RWD DM is never in Discord either.
And also myself as well. I also try and be elusive, but then
I'm trying to be there more and more. This is the year of the bastard. People keep joining, and I realise that maybe some of them want to hear from me. So
we do. That's the thing. You're the one we come for. Yeah. Exactly. No, so definitely, join everyone's Discord. That's basically it. And other than that, we'll see you next week with episode 2 and see what happens in the abyss. Oh my gosh, it's all going wrong. So yeah, we'll have fun there. All right, well, take care everyone and have a good evening. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.